Well, hello, and welcome. It's Robyn Levin. So glad that you're here with us today live on YouTube. So welcome back to the Inside Scoop with Robyn, bringing you extraordinary experts and entrepreneurs making a positive impact. And if you are new here, tell us, I would love to know in the chat box, where are you today? Where are you tuning in from? I am in sunny Sarasota. And again, I'm Robyn Levin, if we haven't met. My company is Robyn Levin Media, a marketing consulting firm based in Florida, but also based in anywhere there's Wi-Fi and a water view. And so my last digital nomad journey happened to have been in Portugal. I was fortunate to work there for 6 weeks. Absolutely loved it before the pandemic. Can't wait to go back. So again, we are going to have a fun, interactive, educational session today with an expert, Betsy Coyne, that you're going to meet in just a minute. So go ahead and let us know where you are in the chat. We can't see you, but I can see your comments. And also, if you are enjoying the content, give us a thumbs up. You know that you can do that on YouTube, right? So we'd love that. And if you have a question during the program today, just put a Q in the question in the chat box. That way we can find your question. But we are going to cover a lot. And so I already see, hello, Wayne from Greensboro. Let me bring him up. Hey. How are you doing in North Carolina today? And we have another one from Massachusetts. Almost all things real estate. All righty. So welcome. As you'll see, I'm going to be bringing in some comments. And here's our soon to be seen expert, Betsy. So this is what we're going to be learning. Hello, Tatiana. She's here as well. So we have about an hour together. Get ready to take a lot of notes. This is what we're going to be covering. 5 ways to know that your Zoom meeting is a success before it even starts. So if you are like many of us, living our lives online in the past couple of years, I know that my company has invested heavily with technology and learning and helping our clients level up because they want to increase their visibility, their brand awareness, and revenue, and that's what we specialize in. Using the latest technology like video, live stream selling, and storytelling. So we want to hear from you. Also, what industry are you in? That would be neat to know. Now, I got to have a big shout out, and I have to give Val a cup of coffee. She is in the background. She is our moderator all the way from California, so she is keeping things running in the background, though Val is never in the background, I have to tell you. And this is what we're going to be learning. New tips from Zoom expert Betsy Coyne. How to go from Zoom fatigue to fun. How to brand your waiting room. How to turn your meeting into a webinar. Super important and easy. How to present with live captions. And how to repurpose your content. So we're going to go through a lot. We also have a lot of specials that are offered. So if this content is interesting to you, you're going to have an opportunity to take advantage of. Pretty much the only place it's being offered is today live at the end. So we'll tell you about that. And again, if you are enjoying our information and you want to share it with a colleague, a friend, anybody that you feel could benefit, just go ahead and copy that link and send it out, and they can join us live. And hello all for you watching on the replay. Now, it is my great pleasure to introduce Betsy Coyne. Let me tell you a little bit about her before we get started. Betsy lives, breathes, and just loves tech like I've never met anyone before. She has 35 years experience training corporations and individuals how to leverage tech, both in their personal life and in their companies. So I think I look at Betsy like she's your tech concierge. I'm giving you a new name. And with that, we're going to get started. She'll tell you a little bit more about her. Welcome, Betsy.
Hi, Robyn.
Hello.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm so thrilled to be here and be able to go through these special tips with everybody.
All righty. So we have a couple of questions that I know I get, and I'm sure you do too. So let's start with, again, Zoom fatigue. So, we are in this hybrid world now, and it probably won't change anytime soon. So I think it's really important for people to know, how do you engage with your audience, whether you're a presenter, a speaker, a trainer, maybe you're a sales company giving presentations. So even your salespeople need to know. So how do you go from fatigue to fun? Make it fun.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a number of things to think about when you're coming into your Zoom event, you want engagement, right? And most likely your participants are going to be muted. Most likely they're going to be muted because you're doing your lecture, your presentation as a speaker, and your participants are out there on mute. So how do you get them to engage? And so, right at the top of the list, some of the things that I like the people who come to me to learn Zoom mastery is to look for reactions and the chat. There are, just like we connect with people on our phones and we text with them in messaging, even on social media, in Messenger, or even today on your show, we use emojis. And this is a way to make it fun. You can incorporate an emoji to show emotion or have them show emotion, and they don't even have to unmute. Now, here's the thing. To be successful before your meeting even starts, you need to go into your settings. And when you go into Zoom settings in your account, you are able to make sure that these features are turned on. I don't want you to get into your Zoom meeting and realize that you don't have the ability to even use an emoji in the chat because that setting might not be on. So emojis can be used in the reactions, as well as, my favorite is in there. And it used to be called, I heard you say in the intro there how we've all been using Zoom pretty much for the last solid 2.5 years almost, right? And I remember back at the beginning of 2020 when I was teaching this to many business professionals who were trying to keep the doors to their businesses open. And there was something called nonverbal feedback tools, nonverbal. And that carries forward today. Zoom may have changed the name of them to, let's say, reactions. You see the reactions bar at the bottom of your toolbar when you're in a Zoom meeting, and you just got to make sure that's turned on before your meeting even starts. And that way you're on the road to Zoom fun just by using those really simple steps.
Okay, yeah. There we go. I'm giving her an applause. So you need to know the settings. And I know from our experience, when you're setting up, whether it's a webinar, a meeting, whatever, there's a lot of great options in there, but you really do need to know the settings. So you have it, what is it? We're going to talk about your Zoom mastery class, but that's also something you really get into, right? You walk people through all of that.
Yes, I have a Zoom Mastery program, which is jam-packed with tutorials that you can take self-paced. You have them for a lifetime. They're yours to keep and replay and replay. Think of it as like your library. So you want to go in and look and see, okay, another way to do Zoom fun that I show you is polls. You want to poll your audience. And in Zoom, again, before your meeting even starts, you need to make sure that that setting is turned on, and then your questions are inputted. So you can actually put your questions in weeks in advance before the meeting even starts, and make sure that you're engaging them in a way that they can tell you what they're thinking. It's an assessment, and that's also in the Zoom Mastery program too. Yep. So make sure, here's a tip for everybody watching, that if you have the free Zoom account, which has been around, it's wonderful because you can have a meeting where you're one-on-one with someone. You are limited in time to that 40 minutes, but you don't get polls with the free account. So you want to make sure that as you're listening in today and you're like, oh man, I really need to up my game and get some fun happening in my Zoom meetings, that you might need to consider an upgrade. You just might. you might look at it and say, you know what, I'm going to stay with free, and I'm going to do some of the other techniques that I'm talking about today, which are available for free accounts.
Okay.
So stay with us. They're not all for paid, but you could certainly put your question in the chat here on YouTube, and I'll answer that too. Betsy, do I have this if I have a free account? Those are things I'm an expert at.
Okay. Also, yes, in the chat, let me just bring up another familiar face, Tatiana. Hello, Tatiana. Tatiana's in education. She teaches
I
public speaking, interpersonal communication at a university, and also on YouTube University. Whoa, so nice, good to know. So I'm sure that she could benefit from this information, for sure. Yes, she knows the importance of keeping it going and interacting.
Yes. Yeah. Hi there, Tatiana. So great to have you with us today. One of the things that I tell everyone, especially those that are teaching classes on a regular basis, whether it is to university students or to adults. I teach many in the industries where they're teaching adult education, and that might be, for instance, real estate education. They're either or another industry where you're trying to get a license. And in order to get the license, you have to take a series of courses, maybe over a series of time. And for those types of classes, especially where you're meeting with them regularly, another point, one of our 5 ways to make sure you're set up for success before your meeting even starts, is to make sure that your settings are on for breakout rooms. What sets Zoom apart from the rest of all the virtual platforms, in my opinion, is breakout rooms. There is this feature that allows you to take everyone from your main meeting room and break them up into groups. You can even put one person in each room. So if it was not for networking or for co-working session, but you wanted an ability to have a working lab where everybody had their own space virtually, and then as the host or instructor, you get to visit each practice room. Think of it that way. Breakout rooms can do that for you. So once again, before the meeting even starts, you can do this. Set it on the web, set it in your meeting so that you can actually pre-assign which people will be in which breakout rooms.
So you can really facilitate networking online in a more interesting way than ever possible before.
Totally, Robyn. If for those out there who have not tried breakout rooms yet, again, I talk about the Zoom Mastery program that I have, and for those who know me and have come to my classes, know how much I rave about breakout rooms. I just gave an updates class last week on the newest feature. It's so exciting that you can broadcast your voice now from the main meeting room into these breakout rooms. So your microphone, which literally only was for the main meeting room, now can go into the breakout room. So just like you said, you can do speed networking. You can have a networking event where people come in, they don't know each other, and you can randomly have them assigned to certain rooms. So it definitely is by far the feature that I think sets Zoom apart from the rest in terms of virtual platforms out there. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know maybe and on the surface it might not sound breakout rooms. Yeah, but the fact that you can amplify your voice is fantastic and communicate in the breakout rooms.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? One more thing. I know we have a lot of things to go through today, but when I talk about updates to Zoom, I tell this to everyone how I am in Zoom every single day. And when an update comes out, literally, it's like a holiday around here. Everything, I set up all of my devices. I love to test these out. And when you come into my Zoom Mastery program, you get all the updates as well. So over time, as Zoom updates, I put all the updates in the program. And I think today you've got in the description of video, there is a link there. So even while people are watching, you can go to that description and click. I know you're giving them a really great special today.
Yes,
too.
there is a great special. You'll save $100 and get access to a free class tomorrow that's happening. So I will be giving that link out. I know Valerie's probably putting it in the comment section. So if you are eager to find out before the end, you can certainly go and check it out. But it is a special offer just being offered here. So we appreciate you all being here. And another question that comes up is, how do you turn your meeting into a webinar? So again, we've gone from classes to meetings to webinars to full conferences where Fortunately
Yes.
for the clients, we've actually doubled attendance at the online conferences and tripled the subscribers from these online events. So they're becoming very successful and less costly than an in-person event. So how
Yeah.
do you turn it into a webinar?
Yeah. Yeah, good one. Really, really good one. And this definitely on our list of the 5 ways to make your meeting, make sure you're set up for success before your meeting even starts. And this one, you ready, everybody, is called,
Oh, wait. Let me give you a drum roll. Oh, wait a second. Hang on.
ready, drum roll. It's called focus mode. So, focus mode is a setting, it's a feature and a setting. So, you have to make sure you go in before your meeting even starts. Make sure that you have focus mode turned on. It gives you the ability that when you're in a meeting, you have the ability to go down to the bottom as the host and say, turn on focus mode.
Simple.
Now, it's the setting is in the web. I always say there's 2 places to go in, right? There's the web and then there's your application. So on the computer that you're going to be using when you're hosting this event, on that computer in that application, there is also the way to schedule the meeting. And when you're scheduling the meeting, there is a switch or a setting in there to say when the meeting starts, have focus mode on already. And I know, Robyn, I attended your boot camp a few months ago where you did this. It was fabulous, where people came in. Look, everybody, it was a meeting. And everybody says to me, is there a way that I can have, I don't want their cameras on and I don't want their audio on. I just want it like a webinar. And Zoom's term for webinar is where everyone's audio is disconnected. They don't have it on and their camera is not on. And that add-on is expensive per month.
It
And
is.
what if you're doing this, every now and then? You have that ability like you used.
Right. No, it was great. It was so if you think about it, if you, for those watching on the webinar part of it, you're not looking at the little all the little screens like the Brady Bunch windows. It's more you're participating, but your camera's not on and it's but you're still all together.
Yeah, I was in there. I was in your boot camp and it was really good. And they call it focus mode because as your participant, I was able to focus on your presentation. So that's really where the name comes from. I was
I was
not distracted looking at everybody else's Brady Bunch uh, video feed, their live video thumbnail, or having people having the ability to turn it on and turn it off and turn it back on again, which can be distracting. So this focus mode is meant to remind us that your audience is going to be focusing on you, the speaker. And then even more than that, it gives a sense of privacy as well. I had someone come to me earlier in the year who does meditation, and she wanted to give a meditation event with some soothing music playing, and she didn't want the ability for people to look around on that screen and look into everyone else's private either office or residence. And it's a private thing if you're attending a meditation event and maybe your eyes are closed, and so everyone was off camera because focus mode was on. I tell you, it's a good one, and it takes it from a meeting, turns it into what feels like a webinar, but you're not paying for that extra feature. And
right,
literally it's one click, everybody. It's one click.
right. And it's like at least 150 a month just for that webinar option and maybe more.
Yeah, it can get costly depending on your also on your audience
The
size.
the
So,
good news, you don't need it.
pricing
So
sometimes.
there's a tip that you don't need it. You need to know what settings to set it to.
Yeah, it's definitely a good one. And I have to say, as a Zoom expert, and I'm in a lot of conversations with a lot of people and I'm answering a lot of questions. And this one comes up a lot because there's this need to be able to present to your audience in a way that you can gain exposure, right? You have this terrific online course, let's say, but no one knows about it. So you want to be able to appear on camera like we are today and have people participate, but not necessarily be in a way that they can see each other. You still have the chat. and it's a Zoom meeting. So you have the chat whereas they can still enter their name. You can even change the chat to where they're only messaging you as the host. So they don't even have to, in a sense, see anybody else's comments. So it's
Right.
really, really a great feature, turning your meeting into a webinar.
And as you said, with the privacy features, so my boot camp, it was a 3-day virtual online live boot camp using Zoom and Ecamm, which is the other technology that I'm using here today. And we, for privacy reasons, because it's recorded and I turned it into an online course, which is available at my website, it was better that way. You have the privacy, you can continue with your content, and you still have a lot of interaction happening at the same time. So
Yeah.
we never
It
lost that. We always had that. We had the chat going, so people felt like they were involved, but they were doing it in their own place, in their own space.
Yeah, it was great, and I told you that after your event. It's a real treat for me to attend other people's Zoom meetings and webinars. But in this case, you were having a Zoom meeting, and so for me to be a participant is really a treat. And so because I can see what it's like from your point of view, I'm usually here as the host, and I'm usually leading and teaching. But that event, the fact that I clicked your join link and I came right in and everyone was muted. So it wasn't this background noise. There wasn't even a possibility of someone unmuting themselves. We couldn't. In focus mode, you can't. So it definitely is a wonderful feature that I would have people definitely investigate. And again, that one is in the Zoom Mastery program. So you can, I know I can see Valerie put the link in the
Oh,
chat
let me hear it. Let
for
me bring it here. There
your
we go.
special.
Yes, there is the link to the Zoom Mastery program, which Betsy's going to tell you more about a little bit later on, but that's definitely the link. If you are anxious to check it out, you can go there. There's the link. And if you use the code RLSAVE, all capitals, you will get your $100 off. Plus, not only that, you're getting access to a free class tomorrow that, why don't you just tell us about, since I just mentioned it? Oops.
Yes, yeah. You let the cat out of the bag, didn't
A
you?
little bit.
I
Yes.
was also looking at Tatiana has a really good question in the chat too. So
Let me
we'll
bring
get
that
to
up.
that next as well. But yes, everybody, for anyone who purchases Zoom Mastery today, you're going to get the class that I'm teaching tomorrow for free. There is this class I'm giving called How to Make Your Waiting Room Look Like This. And just wait right there. I don't know if Robyn's going to let it out, but we
Oh,
have an
hang on.
example,
I'm giving you a sneak peek.
little sneak peek
Okay,
of my
guys,
latest
here it comes.
waiting
Watch,
room.
check this out. All right, I'm not going to give it all away, but you got the idea. You have the idea. That's a waiting room. Imagine that that's what you can set up
Yeah.
when people are coming to attend your next event, your conference, your webinar, whatever it is that you're hosting. You can brand your waiting room. I love that. And she's teaching us that trick tomorrow.
Yes, yeah. There are a couple things that go into that, but the really good news is that it's all in features that you probably already have, or even a free feature that you could add on. So stay to the end, and I'm going to be talking about that one next. But I did see Tatiana's question in the chat about being able to set it so that you have your camera as the host, but also select others in the meeting that you want to have visible. So I do want to speak to that. And that was back on the focus mode that we were talking about earlier. And that's a great point that she brings up. And I just want to reiterate that there is a feature called co-hosts in Zoom. So for those who don't know about it, you can set a co-host once they're in meeting with you. You do not set a co-host before the meeting starts. So that wouldn't be one of our 5 ways today, doing the co-hosts, but it's definitely something great to have on as in your settings. And then when you get in the meeting and they're there with you and you make them a co-host, yes, when the focus mode is on, the participants are able to see the host and the co-hosts. So the co-host definitely gets freed up from the rest of the participants. So you do, if you have a helper there with you, like you have Val here today as a helper, a moderator, that type of person who's there to help you behind the scenes, you definitely want to set them as a co-host. And then yes, when focus mode is on, you have the ability, and they do too, to be able to be off camera or be on camera. So yes, they could be spotlighted, like she said. That's Spotlighting is a term that's used to indicate that you have, like, let's say, a panel of speakers. And if only the three of us, me and Robyn and let's say Tatiana, we were the three speakers, we would only have our cameras on. Yeah, very good point.
Awesome. Okay, and if
Yeah.
by chance you're just joining us, we are having an interactive live session. So do feel free to put a comment in the chat box on YouTube if you'd like to, if you either have a question or you just want to say hi, like I'm going to bring up Lisa. Hello, hello, ladies. Good to see you. Yes.
Hey there, Lisa. Great to see you.
And something, hello, Lisa, as well. Yes, that's from Valerie, who's working hard behind the scenes. Okay, so we covered Zoom fatigue, turn it into fun. We talked about how to create a webinar from a meeting without paying extra. Woo! If you're listening Zoom, we shared that secret. Now, live captions. Live captions are so important on video. Tell us about that.
Yes, this one's really good. So another one, this is our fourth way to make sure you're set up for success before your Zoom meeting even starts. You know, I want success, Betsy. I want to be successful in this virtual world. Well, in this virtual world, especially doing business, you want to make sure that you're meeting all accessibility requirements. So that comes into play with captions. You want to make sure that you're providing live captions when you can and when you are requested, especially when you're requested. And then at the end of the event, if you could provide a live transcript, that would be wonderful as well. Let me tell you, even when you're recording yourself. So if you're recording yourself and you want to have a transcript of what you just said, so that maybe you can take that transcript and put it with your online course or send it out to your participants. Zoom has this capability. But again, before your meeting starts, you need to make sure you go into your settings on the web. This one's on the web in your account there, and make sure that it's turned on. So once you have the ability to get live captions and the live transcript, and you know what, everyone? If you have a free account, you have this ability. So Zoom, a few months ago, I want to say maybe 4 months ago, around there, opened up the ability for even free accounts to have the ability to provide live transcript and captions. And it all happens in meeting. So when you're in the meeting and let's say you're the host and someone informs you that they need this accessibility, you simply just click the button that enables it. And then everyone in the meeting will be able to see the captions or hide them. So it gives them the capability and the control to see the live captions. Now, we have to talk about the scenario, which is that Zoom is not a transcription service. It's not. Zoom is meant for live streaming and virtual meetings and webinars. And they're doing their best, and the captions come out pretty well. You have to really concentrate on speaking clearly. And some of the time, your captions don't match exactly. Even Robyn and I, we were looking at some captions we were putting together for some social media posts we were doing together. And Robyn's name is spelled with a Y-N rather than an I-N. And when the transcription, this wasn't Zoom, this was another app that does it. It picked up her name as Robin. And the text can be edited. Of course, live, it's live. You're going to be seeing it as is. But Zoom does have a way, if you had a person dedicated in meeting with you to be typing the text manually, it does give you that ability. Yeah. And I don't know people who do that as a profession, but that would be great to know. If there's anybody out there that does it as a profession.
I know that we used to pay for a service, and it's pretty costly. So we used to pay for a service to have our transcriptions. And the fact that you can now do that free is fantastic. So can you tell it or educate Zoom to know that to change it from a Robyn with an I to Robyn with a Y? Or
Not the pure Zoom feature. It does give you the ability to use a third party though. So if you're using, I don't have any affiliation with Otter, but I do know of Otter, and that is a third party program that specializes in transcription and transcribing what you're saying live. So if you're using a third party, then you can have your account signed into where you have been teaching that third party app about how you speak and what your dialect is, let's say. But if it's a case where maybe English is not your first language and this is something that you're going to be speaking live, you're just keep in mind that Zoom's ability to transcribe what you're saying may not be 100%, that you definitely want to try it out in your own practice session. If you are a holder of a Zoom business account or higher. So if I were just to kind of go off topic just for a second,
oh yes,
that
fine.
Zoom has these levels. So there's a free account level, the basic, which you get it free and you're limited to a 40-minute meeting. Then up from there, you have the pro account, and pro is about $15 a month. You can get it down to $12 a month if you pay for the whole year in advance. And then that gives you 100 people in your meetings. That's your capacity. Okay. The next level up is considered business level. And then from there, there's enterprise and so on. And there are these different levels, and they give you different audience capacity. They also now include business level or higher translation. So you're able to do these live captions and transcript and choose your language. So if you are, let's say, presenting to an audience in Germany and you want your captions to be translated for you, that is now a capability, but only for business level and above. That literally was just added, I want to say, within the month.
Wow, that's good to know. I know things are changing quickly, and that's why you need an expert like Betsy to stay on top of this. And my expert Valerie just gave us the link to Otter that you mentioned. So it's otter.ai, voice meeting notes and real-time transcription. Thank you, Val. Appreciate that.
I'd love to know, anybody here, just put in the comments if you have experience with Otter. I know people who do. I'm just wondering if anyone here uses it. You can have it on your phone as an app. Again, no affiliation to it.
Right.
I just know it's one of the, one of the bigger names in transcription. So, and all you need to know is that Zoom has the ability to work with these third-party programs.
All right, that is excellent. Well, before we go on, I do want to take a sneak peek because I've had some people ask me, can you show us a little bit more about the Zoom mastery? So they're getting a little excited about that. So Betsy, let's take a minute and just go over that program. I know it's something that you're super proud of. It's incredible. It's getting amazing feedback. So I want to show you what that is all about here. Just take us through that minute.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, and I'm thank you for giving such a great special today, Robyn. This program, Zoom Mastery, takes you from sending out the invites to joining. And, so many people that I meet say, okay, what's the deal? I know Zoom. I Zoom every day. I click that link and I show up in a meeting, Betsy. Well, I take you in this program to the other side, which is hosting. What does it mean to host your own event in Zoom? And what's that going to feel like? When I take you from sending out the invites all the way through breakout rooms and managing your participants, what is it going to feel like to have an audience, and then you need to present your information, your content, and share your screen so that they see your presentation clearly, and that it flows, that you feel as professional as you do in person across the table or in a conference room or a classroom in person. So this program lets you manage your virtual world from start to finish. And for those out there that are doing business virtually and are using Zoom for business, this is the program for you. It's all me. It's all jam-packed with video tutorials that I lead you through step by step. I've been, as you said in my intro, I've been teaching people how to use technology for 35 years. It's what I've always done. And, I stand by that, but I love technology. I love this application. And I got thrust into this world of Zoom in 2020. when the world shut down. So in that, major worldwide shutdown where we all experienced that, within a week, everything was closed. And for those people who were doing business in person, needed to find a way to do business virtually and keep the doors to their businesses open. And now we know the world is not going back. It's not going back. Zoom is here to stay. And even if you are having an in-person event and up on that wall, you've got a screen with people attending virtually, Zoom is still involved. So my program brings you through all of those steps that you're thinking right now, oh my goodness, she could save me so much time because I try to search for these. Well, people come to me and I give you the steps and the answers that you need. So that gives you
That
a
is,
good
oops,
summary.
that is a great summary here. I'm just going to pop up that link. And there's a special code, right? So that's the one where if they buy it, they get to save not only $100, you get your free class tomorrow that you were talking about. That's a 2-hour class.
Yes, tomorrow.
And
Tomorrow. Yeah, it's very
okay,
exciting.
tell us a little bit about that class, but also you also have a whole Zoom membership community where there's other people involved with the playground. I love the concept of the Zoom playground.
Yes,
A
yes,
lot of
yes.
people that are it's very community based and it's a very helpful environment.
Yes, thank you for touching on that. For those who know me, know that I created what's called the Zoom Playground, and I have incorporated it into my Master Tech Club membership. And when you go to your link, there is a an offer in there to start the membership. Actually, if you were to purchase, you'll see in there that I'll give you a month free because I'm standing by the fact that I know what you need, and the ability to meet with people, a community of people who are all going through the same things that you're going through. Uh, it benefits you to meet with me live once a week. I appear live once a week because I know it's needed.
Wow.
Tech woven into every aspect of our lives. So I created this way that when we get together in Zoom, because I know when there's just two people in a Zoom room, the features are not the same as when there's six or more. So I thought to myself, like, I have a way that I can show my clients and students, those who are mastering Zoom, a way to experience it. I give you the controls. I make you the co-host so that you can just click where you need to click and that you can try it out, get it to work before you go live. So the membership takes you beyond Zoom, though. It takes you into every aspect of tech. Today, for instance, in our weekly live session later today, those club members are going to learn Google Forms and Google Sheets, for instance. And how does the Gmail, when you put your email in and you make a typo, how do I get that wrong address out of there? So I'm a tech expert. I'm a technology educator and coach. And so I love the fact that I can meet with people regularly and I can save you time and also make you feel good about the fact that, hey, technology is there and I'll show you how to manage it and enjoy it. And I think those who take classes from me definitely say that about me, that I have this joy and patience that come with it. Yeah.
Absolutely, 100%. Wait, let me give you 100%. So, by the way, for those watching, again, this is live, and if you want to share the link with somebody that you think might benefit by our program today, because we did keep it private, it was just a special link and a special offer for our own intimate group, but we are offering it for you to share it if you'd like. That is the link right there. And again, they can watch the replay or jump in right now and say, hey guys, you have to hear what's going on here. You don't want to miss it.
Yeah, I have to say, you know what, Robyn? I'm just going to say again about community that because you and I met through a community of people using applications.
Right.
And so the ability to meet other people like in a chat and say, hey, you're doing that too. I'm doing that too. You're kidding me. And we don't live in the same state. We're not in the same industry, but
That's
we
how I
have
met
this.
Val. That's how I met
Yeah,
Val in
with
California.
Val, yeah, I think she's on a different coast. right?
She's in
Than we are.
California and I'm in Florida, and you are where?
I'm in New Jersey.
New
Yeah.
Jersey. And then if you didn't hear us earlier, type in the chat where you were watching from. We'd love to know. I know somebody
Yeah.
from Ireland was on earlier.
Yes. Yes. I have a great friend who I've met through my online classes in the last 2 years. I wonder if that was her. She's from Dublin, Ireland. And so I can't tell you how thrilled I am and grateful that I'm able to meet people like you and see, what you're doing in your industry, not just with Zoom, but like today, you're using a program called Ecamm and
Yes.
that I don't use as much as you do, and so we learn from each other in these communities. And I know Tatiana's here. I don't know if she is still here, but we met her
Here,
in
wait,
that
wait, wait. Let
community.
me hear it. Pop her right there. Tatiana, I love
Thank
technology
you.
too. It's remarkable. It opens up so many doors for connection with people
Yeah.
that you would have otherwise never met. So true. In fact, a lot of you
So
we met here online. So
yeah, so true.
there was a little positive to this pandemic, and that is to meet people like, all the ones that we're meeting with and expanding our skills, our knowledge, expertise, and collaborating. I think the key is really collaboration. And Betsy, I love collaborating with you.
Yes.
As I said, I've done virtual workshops. I've brought Betsy in to a nonprofit client that a lot of those folks who run in the nonprofit world were struggling with, oh my gosh, how do we present online and how do we attract donors and what do we do? And so I brought Betsy in for some tips. And just here's a little tip that happened. I was actually on a university campus, and for some reason, their audio wasn't connecting to my Zoom account. And so there's Betsy in the background. I have her on a huge screen with no audio. So what I did, if this ever happens to you guys, hopefully it won't, but I used my cell phone and I actually brought her in on the cell phone so people could see her, and I turned up the volume as much as possible, and that worked. So innovation on the fly.
Yeah, I love it. I love that. And I was there. You beamed in my voice through the cell phone, and anybody, you have a Bluetooth speaker, and then you could, amplify the voice if you needed that way. So and you know what? In the Zoom Mastery program, I have a lesson on zooming from mobile, which is
Oh,
often
love.
asked of me. Yeah, I have to say too that as you were talking, I was thinking about a lot of the people that I teach. And I know Tatiana here, I saw she posted that or put in the chat there where she's from. So for those of you who teach classes, whether whatever age you're teaching, there is this term called gamification. And even though that's not necessarily a Zoom setting that you can turn on, before your meeting starts, it is a principle that I teach a lot and I bring into all of my lessons. And you know what? In the membership, starting tomorrow's a big day, September 1st, it's the first of the next month. And it is the first challenge for our membership community in the Tech Club, in the Master Tech Club. And we're going to do a
Gotta wake her
love it.
up. Yeah.
And see, and even that, like you're using sound effects today, which of course is a way to bring humor in, and it makes us remember you. It makes us want to come back and revisit. And I'm going to be showing throughout the next month. Gamification involves lots of different programs out there like Kahoot, Mentimeter, Poll Everywhere, Flippity. I could go on and on. Jigsaw Planet. So there's lots of ways that you can incorporate games, and you're not playing a game through the whole meeting. You're playing a game maybe for 5 minutes, and it could be something like a PowerPoint Jeopardy. Or some type of password. Password has come back to network television. And so you can bring these into your meeting and run them and then go back to your content. But guess what? The game incorporates your content. So they're really learning, you're reinforcing the content, and they're having fun. So I know we talked about Zoom fatigue to Zoom fun, because today we're talking about what can you do in Zoom before your meeting even starts. But I would say, what can you do before your meeting even starts? Plan what your course is going to include in terms of gamification. So
I love
I
that.
had to get that in there because it is so important.
That's a great idea. And again, it's all about, as I said earlier, that our attention spans are so tiny. They're shorter than supposedly the span of a goldfish. So like 3 seconds. So for those of you watching for all 44 minutes, we're thrilled. Thank you for being here. Stay here with us. We're not done yet. And
And then I'm sorry, Robyn, to interject, but I do see Hazina's question, the difference between lifetime access and Zoom Playground. I just want to go back to that before we move on to, I know, the last way, which is really, the grand finale. But Hazina, to answer your question, the difference so what lifetime access means is when you purchase Zoom Mastery, that is a self-paced program. So it's jam-packed with tutorials that you watch at your pace whenever you want, whatever time of day. And you have those for the lifetime access of that program, as long as that program is around, which is my lifetime. So it's not going away. And that's going to be updated as Zoom is updated. So that's Zoom Mastery. And what some people do is they buy that program and they have that program because that's how they learn. They love to learn with their own videos that they watch at their own pace whenever they want. However, I'm saying today, when you add on this membership, which is a monthly ongoing membership. So you get the first month free and then you pay, actually right now, if you do buy right now, you lock it in at the very low rate of $77 a month. So at that membership, you pay monthly, just like going to a gym membership. I've always said to myself, I'm like, I go to the gym. I love to take Zumba and dance and yoga. I should have like a way, not making your body strong, but making your tech mind strong. So the membership is that it's an ongoing membership with me. I appear live once a week, and once a month, of the 4 times that I appear, once a month, it's called the Zoom Playground. And what we do is we pick something in Zoom. Let's say, Hazina, that we're going to do live transcripts. And so the Zoom Playground topic for that week is transcripts. And what I do is I make you the co-host, Hazina, and I say, okay, click down there and click on transcripts and then save it to your computer and enable it and disable it. And so you're clicking away and experiencing it. So the Zoom Playground only comes with your membership. So as long as you're an active member, then you get it. You get all the replays too. So all the live replays are in the membership portal. So I hope that makes it clear for you. If there's anything else you need about that, just follow up with another question. Okay.
Okay. Let's just make sure I didn't miss anything here. Yes, in the chat, let us know. I know Tatiana just did, but if you're using gamification in your business, in your life, that would be interesting to know, for sure. So.
Okay, I'm hearing a drum roll again.
All right, think. Drum roll. Dun-dun-dun-dun. Do tell.
Okay. So here's the story. All right. I can't take credit for the original idea. And I did see this on social media that someone was serving themselves coffee. It wasn't a Zoom meeting. They were serving themselves coffee they were sitting at the desk, and incoming was themselves serving them coffee. And I thought, okay, how did they do that? I want to do that in my Zoom meeting. I want to figure out how to serve myself coffee in my own Zoom meeting. Wouldn't that be great, everybody? Actually, somebody has said to me, if I could figure out how to get somebody to clean my house for me when I'm on a Zoom meeting, that would be great too. 100%. So I created this video, which...
Yeah. Okay. Here's
go ahead.
Just speak. Okay. All right. So
music there. Yeah, I was saying, can we all take a sip while she's taking a sip? That would be good. Okay, we'll all take a sip.
Drink up. It's not happy hour yet, but water will do.
Water will do. So I took that video. First of all, I posted it on its own and got incredible feedback. Everyone wants to know how to make it. And then I thought, well, wait, now we all do have this ability. Actually, let me preface, if you have a paid account in Zoom or higher, you have the ability to customize your waiting room. And if you don't know what the waiting room is, well, oh my goodness, even more, come along and into Zoom Mastery, and I'll show you what a waiting room is, or even attend one of my events and you'll see my waiting room is on. And in the waiting room, it's collecting people, right? You're in your Zoom room getting ready, and you have notifications that you have all the people waiting in the waiting room. But what are they looking at? It used to be they were just looking at text. And maybe all of you out there who have joined a meeting have said, yeah, I've seen that message a lot that just says, please wait, the host will be with you shortly. And then you look at this white screen with the gray text and you just sit there. Well, there is this ability to put a video in your waiting room so that your participants who are waiting get to view something, and it actually goes on loop. So it loops over and over and over. And I thought, oh my goodness, let's take that video of serving yourself coffee. You could take any idea that you have thinking right now, you're like, oh my goodness, I'm going to not do the coffee. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to adjust the camera and I'm going to make it look like I'm actually getting my room ready for them.
I have one of those. Yes, that we made
Yes, and you're going to
for
take
my
that
virtual
video.
PR boot camp. Yes, we did. We had the kind of the, I don't have it set up here, but yes.
And, you know,
Thanks
Robyn,
to
yours
Val.
too. Yeah, back to that boot camp. You know, Robyn, you're a doer and your mind is always thinking about video. You are, because you're in, you know, you're in media. You know, you want to get our messages out there. That's what you do for your clients as well. And the fact that you could take a video, and the one that you just saw, I branded with text and color and music. And I did that all in a program called Canva. So that's going to be in the class tomorrow. So for anyone who purchases Zoom Mastery today through Robyn's link, will get everything. You're going to be so set up. You're going to be able to start your road to Zoom Mastery wherever you are in the journey. You can jump right in. If you're like, yeah, I know joining, I've done it from my mobile, but boy, you just said that thing about breakout rooms, then you can jump right in and start learning. And then tomorrow, join us for the class on making your own video and then putting it in your waiting room. It's going to be so much
I'll
fun.
also share on that to give you some ideas about what would you put on your waiting room video. I mean, think about it. It's almost like in the old days of an on-hold call. If you put somebody on hold and you said, oh, by the way, did you know we also offer da-da-da and all these other services? And while you're waiting, people said, I didn't know you offered that. And maybe they never would have if they weren't put on hold. So you could actually do like a 30-second informational promo without it being a promo, just inform them of what else you might offer that they didn't know about.
You can also, may I add to that, that if your video is talking about some promotion that's coming up and they're watching it, this is like a commercial, right? You're watching it. You can do it so subtle. And when you add music, it's so nice and pleasing. Well, your co-host, so you remember you're on the other side of that waiting room door in a sense. And if you had a co-host there with you who is maybe checking the people who are appearing in the waiting room, you know, checking the sign-in list and making sure the registration list that they were to be expected, you can actually message them in the waiting room and you can put your link there in the chat. So if you wanted them to be able to check out that link, and don't worry, because all of these things happen on the computer. They don't get booted out of the waiting room. They just are brought to another window where your internet browser, your link appears. And that way they can save that later. Of course, you're going to show that to them when they get in the meeting as well. But if you wanted to, you could have them go to a game. I mentioned earlier, you know, you could have them do a quick game. There's one I do, which is a customized version of Wordle, that real trending Wordle that's out there, a word master game. There's so many great ideas based on what you said, Robyn, with messaging them and showing them a video, telling them what they need to do to get prepared, that your meeting is about to start and what you'd like them to think about and do. Definitely.
Here's a question. Let me bring this up here, Tatiana, about the video in the waiting room. Do people have to watch the whole video before being let in, or will they be let in at whatever point the co-host lets them in? Great question, Tatiana.
Yeah, great question. Thank you very much for that. And it is a loop video, and it's also started individually for each person. So when someone enters the waiting room, they see it from that point forward. When the next person enters the waiting room, maybe 5 seconds after them, they start at the beginning of the video. So everybody's watching it in their own time. They're watching it in its entirety. However, when it's time for you to open the waiting room and you let everybody in, they will stop watching it.
But it's
So
a
sometimes
30-second loop?
it's all based on it. It's not limited to 30 seconds. It's limited to size of the video.
Okay.
So in my experimenting, because I experiment with programs like Camtasia is a pretty big video editing software. There are lots out there. There's like iMovie and there's what ScreenFlow. I think someone asked me
Screen,
the other day.
ScreenFlow.
I ScreenFlow. I use Camtasia, and when I was processing the videos in Camtasia, they were too large. So what I did is I did them in Canva, and they were smaller. So little experiments like that, you're limited on the size of the video, not necessarily the length and how many minutes. So that's how you're limited. What I do is when people enter my waiting room, I can see them in order in my notification. So I know that the first three people have been sitting there for at least 30 seconds. I can admit them one at a time because I want them to watch the entire video.
Right.
Hey, when it comes to game time and people just show up and it's a minute before or it's right, I start promptly. All my classes, I start promptly. So I actually take off the waiting room when it's time for me to start presenting. And so they'll miss it completely.
Okay,
So
so
I
I'm going
hope,
to add one thing before I bring up a question because we're coming close on time. So yes, and I also have a fabulous musician client, Autumn Knight. She's amazing. You can check her out. We did paid concerts over the past couple of years, and I could see where in a waiting room, which we haven't done a waiting room yet, but we could preview some upcoming, maybe a new release, or kind of get the fans geared up for what's happening next. So I could totally see how the waiting room could be super effective on that.
yes, definitely.
So for entertainers out there, this is for you as well. Now, quick question. What are some of the games you mentioned that can be used on Zoom?
Yes, so some of the ones that are somewhat well known, at least in the education arena, I'm going to mention are Kahoot. I have actually access. I can talk here. I'm going to put them in the chat for you, Hazina. One is called Kahoot. Another one is called Mentimeter, and another one is called Poll Everywhere. And these are all, there's one more that I love called Flippity. So, okay, so there I gave you a whole bunch of options. The ones that can be used in Zoom are actually all of them. Oh, here, another one. How did I forget this one? Jigsaw Planet. Oh my goodness, you can make a jigsaw puzzle with your own image that people put together digitally on the screen, and they're given their own link to it. And it's like a public game that they play. So any of these can be played on Zoom. There is a part of Zoom called Zoom apps, and Kahoot, for instance, can come up as a Zoom app. So you can actually, and Mentimeter can as well. There's even whiteboards. There's so many great things, but I would say all of them, as long as you can lead them to something in a browser, Hazina, into an internet browser with a public website link, it can all be played on Zoom. Yeah.
Fantastic. All righty. Quick comment. Thank you, Lisa. Love that you can try out the membership for a month, absolutely free. Yes,
Yeah.
that is pretty unbelievable. Generous of you, Betsy. Now,
Yeah.
quick, just I wanted to let you know if you guys are enjoying this whole look, this branded look that I did with Ecamm. So you can use Ecamm. Let me just show you. There is a free trial if you're interested in trying this out. It's amazing. It's basically the leading live streaming and video production studio built for Mac. It is Mac only. But there's my link if you want to check it out for 14 days. That's really pretty amazing. So what I have done is pushed it to the max. Again, when we had to pivot our business and help our clients get online using tech, there was a big investment of time, money, energy, and everything. But look at the effects, rather than going from just a basic room to being able to have your own show like this. So branded, bring in guests. I could actually have up to 10 guests now. And and you meet amazing people like Betsy and like Val and like all of you in the audience. So that's
It
a
really is.
pretty amazing, powerful program. And it works with Zoom as we're speaking.
Yes.
And it works on YouTube Live and pretty much all the other platforms. You can multi-stream it. Today was our first one live on YouTube. So I figured let's do it this one. Go ahead.
And that it's on a Mac.
Yes,
it's on
it is.
a Mac. So
Right.
yeah, always know that you got to go get yourself a Mac.
Yes.
And
if you haven't
do what Robyn's doing.
Okay, here's the link. Thanks, Val. She just put the link up. So this is the Ecamm link for the video live stream production. You can use it in pretty much any application, whatever you're doing. It's a powerful and wonderful community, incredible community. So a lot of passionate people in there.
Really, really is.
Okay, and if another giveaway on my side is that if you're struggling with content ideas, with all the social media, and we have to do a blog post and a newsletter and a video and a PR release, and you just on and on and on. I have a complimentary calendar for you. You can download it. It's a 12-month calendar idea of just topics and U.S. holidays. Sorry, it's only U.S. holidays, but if somebody wants to do the other countries, let me know. And but you can download that. Here's the link to that, and it'll help you think, oh, there's a timely topic. Let me tie into that. So this is what it looks like.
Awesome.
And Valerie probably has the link to that in the chat. And I want to say, Wayne, thank you. Betsy and Robyn, we appreciate your support and we appreciate your feedback. Absolutely. Let me pop this in here. There.
Thank you.
Almost popped that in there. Let me see. There it is. So again, that's the link for the calendar idea. So go ahead and grab it. It's handy. Keep it handy. It'll help you out when you have to come up with content on the fly like that.
Yes.
All right.
Awesome. I love it.
We're right up on 101. So I want to thank you, Betsy, for sharing so much valuable information. And our audience, thank you for being here. And those of you watching on the replay, let us know what you think. Put it in the comments. Give a thumbs up. Share the love. And let me know what topic you might be interested in next. I do also have a playlist on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Robyn Levin. You'd know that because you're watching. And check the playlist out. You'll see Inside Scoop with Robyn, plus some marketing tips and other information too. So
awesome.
Appreciate it. Awesome. Thank you all. And bye for now. Thank you, Betsy.
Okay. Thanks, Robyn. Bye, everybody.
Bye.